3, 2, 1, go.
So this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, any percent Alucard glitchless. This is still the prologue of the game. We're going to still use somewhat of a glitch.
Yeah, you guys kind of been. This is kind of a fraud category.
No, I mean, as you said before, like this is Richter.
It's okay.
Richter's allowed to use glitches in this category. Alucard is not.
Well, it's Alucard glitchless. Richter doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the glitch that was performed is called a damage stack glitch. When you throw a holy water as you're doing the Hydrostorm item crash, it kind of pseudo-randomly decides to just do damage on every frame. So, yeah.
A lot of DPS in such little time.
We just kind of allow it because it's more convenient to allow the glitch than not. And also, as we said, Richter's doing it, not Alucard. So Alucard's pure in his glitchlessness. This game is actually pretty broken, so there are glitches that may happen that I have no control over. So we're just going to keep powering through those.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Symphony of the Night at all, you're going to notice him doing a very quick backdash. So backdashing is a very quick way to get around, and you can actually cancel the end part, which is the slower part, by pulling out the shield, and if you can do that very rapidly and chain them together.
Yeah, until he gets a form that's later in the game, it's one of the fastest ways to move around. In the 80% category, you would actually do a maneuver, a glitch, to skip death, so you can keep all of your endgame armor and pretty much one-hit every single enemy.
So going through the game in glitchless is a lot less trivial than going through the game in like any percent or any of the other categories where you get to keep the armor.
Don't drop.
No. You can fall down there and it wastes a lot of time. If you're playing any of the glitched categories, it soft locks the game because it tries to load the death cutscene but from the wrong area, so it doesn't know what to do. But yeah, until I get a shield again, I'm just going to be regularly backdashing, which is still faster than walking. Another thing is, Alucard's fists are actually quite powerful. We're not going to be picking up a sword or anything like that to fight enemies for quite some time.
Here goes the shield.
Yep, now I can start shield dashing again. But yeah, until we get to the first boss, there's not really too much to talk about. It's just optimizing movement. And there's a Spittlebone coming up. If I get poisoned, we are in for a bad time. Okay, we're not getting poisoned, sweet. The spit that he drops poisons you, and that decreases your attack stat, and it makes it kind of impossible to get past this next boss quickly. For those of you who are like old school in knowing how the speedrun of this game used to go, before we knew how to skip death and do it quickly, this is kind of what the old any percent route looked like. So yeah, shoutouts to old any%. This is what that boss fight would look like too. I did a Tetra Spirit spell, and I just punched them up real bad. So, and now they're dead.
Nice fight.
Another thing you're going to notice is that I'm going to be damage boosting a lot, because sometimes it's just faster to just damage boost through enemies than actually fight them and kill them. Okay, good. Being able to two-hit these enemies means I have a good strength stat. The way that your stats grow every level is random, I'm pretty sure. So sometimes you end up with like really high strength, sometimes you don't. This is, you know, kind of an RPG.
Yeah, and strength is very important for one of the boss fights coming up a little bit later in the fight, or in the game.
Yeah, if I don't have enough strength, I kind of am in bad shape. I won't 100% die, but I might die, and that's bad. But yeah, there's not really that much going on until I get to the next boss fight, so if you guys have some donations, go for it.
We do indeed. Blackmus Prime donates $150 and says, "It has become a summer tradition for me to take the entire week off work so I can root for these incredibly skilled speedrunners and support the fantastic charities of SGDQ. Mad props to everyone involved in this tremendous event, and congrats to Dragonblitz for setting a new record. Though I always donate during Symphony of the Night runs, I have to put this towards getting that secret cow level. There just might be another donation, and if everyone can give us a convincing moo. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Moo. Perfect. That was very convincing. I'm pretty sure we're all cows now.
Yeah, shoutouts to literally 2 hours ago, I set a new world record for this category in the practice room with no video recording, no eyewitnesses. So yeah, that was real fun.
Gotta keep up the tradition.
Yeah, it happens every year. Here, I'm doing a spell to actually skip these enemies. The way that it works is casting spells and using potions gives you like brief moments of invincibility, and we're going to be using that a lot throughout the run. And then coming up now is the Doppelganger fight. He's one of the only bosses, well, him and his other form are the only bosses that are affected by the stopwatch sub-weapon, so we're just going to use that to our advantage and kill him real fast before he does anything. Fun fact, I can really screw up here if I get hit by him while he's standing still. What ends up happening is you don't gain any experience. It's known as a revenge tech, which I don't know why it's called that, but yeah, real hard boss fight, guys.
We get it, Dracula, you vape. Backpedaling to the clock room of which we met Maria in that short cutscene that we skipped. We're going to have to travel back there
nice.
in a pretty quick amount of time for what is known as a clock rush. Every other minute, that left most part of the clock room opens up. And once we get a certain form, which is pretty much like right under there, we're going to be performing a sort of sequence break right into Allrox's quarters by using a technique.
Yeah, there's a lot of sequence breaks that work in this game without any glitches whatsoever. It's just some oversights of the...
Small developer oversights.
The other thing that's very dangerous about this category is you can just kind of get comboed sometimes. Because you're not wearing any armor, the amount of knockback you receive is increased. So sometimes you just kind of get stun locked, and it's bad news. Right here, I'm grabbing the garnet to sell later to buy some equipment. That's going to be very, very useful. So we'll get back to that. Yeah, until then, it's I'm going to be using the wolf now that I have it. That was pretty much intentional. Jumping over that guy's a little bit faster than casting the spell. But now that I have the wolf, I'll be using that a little bit for movement coming up. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing much until the end of the clock rush.
After this third Diplocephalus that he hops over, he's going to be transforming into the wolf. The wolf is actually a bit easier, not only on your thumbs, but on the terrain that you climb up. He has the ability to, super jump like that. Just pretty much smooth sailing throughout the rest of the clock rush.
It's very similar movement to shield dashing. It's a little bit slower, but when it comes to like awkward terrain or jumping, it's faster because it maintains your momentum.
Nice.
Oh yeah, jumping over that guy is a little bit more difficult. I made the clock rush in like really good time. That never happens. Wow. Normally I'm just barely making it, but I have like 10 seconds. So. Sweet. As a little bit of a safety measure, I'm just going to pick up this health up, just because Minotaur Werewolf can be scary if you misplace yourself. Okay, I can't one-hit these guys, so it's going to be a little interesting to see how I fight Minotaur and Werewolf. Usually if I can one-hit these guys, I know for a fact I'm on a good strength level, but it's a little iffy if you're not one-hitting them. But we'll see. If I'm lucky enough, I'll get a lot of critical hits, but you can't actually see how much damage you're doing. So it's kind of like a crapshoot. Here I'm just kind of avoiding the enemies because it's faster to just avoid them instead of fighting them. Here, I skip a cutscene that's supposed to be playing, and these guys wait till the cutscene's over to start fighting you. But I can just beat them up while we're waiting. This is bad news. Oh no. Please. Here, I have a backup. No, that's not the backup. Oh god, this is bad.
So casting spells actually gives you a brief period of invulnerability.
Yeah, that's much... It should have been more trivial, but sometimes he just doesn't want to die. So unfortunately, because I cast some magic there, I'm a little low on mana, but entering a save room which there's one coming up that I can use that I don't normally use. But entering a save room and saving allows you to refill your mana and your health. So that's going to be the main form of refilling your mana throughout the run. Ooh.
But then we hit that switch at the beginning of the Coliseum in order to come back to it later at a later time.
So now that I've saved once, I won't need to go through that long animation ever again. I could just hit no when it asks me if I want to save, but it'll still give me my mana and my health. Right here, I'm getting the Shield Rod, which is actually one of the best weapons in the game, if you don't know. It allows you to cast spells in combination with whatever shield you're wearing, and we're going to buy the Iron Shield, which that combination is very, very powerful.
I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. I'm interested.
The Jewel of Open is just to get into certain parts of the castle.
Thank you. Farewell for now.
And then since we don't grab the duplicator in this run, we just buy 2 library cards just for the sake of using them.
Yeah, library cards teleport you back to the library where I just was. So. So here's another save room. Just gonna refill my mana real quick. Here, this room is awful if you don't freeze time. Oh, still awful. That damage boost is actually intentional because it pushes you full. Sometimes it's actually faster than moving like normally, but yeah, that guy's awful. He just, I don't know, the AI for the Fleamen in this game, in all Castlevania games, are awful. And that's the Shield Rod spell. It just kind of melts bosses.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the main ways of actually killing bosses, since we don't have the means to anything else. It does require a bit of certain positioning for some bosses, which you'll see later on.
Now I can transform into the bat, so I'll be able to get to the important parts of the game to like further the story and whatnot, but that's not super important. Here I'm buying a Mana Prism, which grants me both invincibility and refills my mana to full, which is important. There we go. Don't want to forget to re-equip the Shield Rod.
I was gonna say, make sure you unequip that library card.
Yeah, no. Because if I use that library card, this run would be bad.
Yeah, so unlike the regular like glitched 80%, we don't have the duplicator, so we can't really use like the mana prisms at will. So this glitchless category is an expert use of mana management and also positioning.
Oh,
just like
jump. Yeah, let's go. That jump's really hard. But yeah, so most of the time I'm doing very conservative like movements to save mana. So it's slower than it could be, but over the long run, I'm optimizing the amount of mana I have as much as possible.
Yeah, you're also regaining mana like pretty much every second.
Yeah, as time goes on, you gain more. So like a lot of the times during these sections where I'm not using any, I'm just refilling so I can use it where it matters more. Like this upcoming section, I'm going to be flying around as the bat, and that costs mana. So. And did I make it? No. Yeah, that happens sometimes if you. The way that you do that spell, the Wing Smash. Oh, I need that. And this room's awful. Hold on. There we go. We made it through. That's all that matters. That spell costs mana to start like flying around with the blue shadows following you and stuff. So.
Yeah. The good thing is that you can like infinitely chain them so long as you have the mana, and there's a certain duration before you actually begin to untransform. So what he wants to do is just pretty much only input the Wing Smash command at the very end of it.
Nice. I got the thing.
Sweet.
That's a really hard strat to do, but I'm really glad I got it. And we're just going to watch this fight. It's really cool. He actually gets knocked back into the spell as it goes across the screen, so it does more damage. It's really cool. That happens to a lot of... Like, you want to do that as much as possible for other boss fights.
Just refill our mana here.
Yep. We're about to get the Leap Stone ability, which adds a lot more movement options. Some of the best movement options in this game.
The little drop kick is very helpful, especially in combination with the bat transformation.
Yeah, so whenever you transform into the bat, you get to retain a lot of your horizontal momentum during the transformation animation. So the dive kick has a lot of horizontal momentum at the very beginning of it, and you just get to keep all of that during the transformation. So you just get to go real fast, and it looks real cool. And don't have enough mana. All right. Yeah, that's one of those moments where you barely have enough mana to make it through a section right before the next save point. I'm going to be doing some things called front slides. They're really cool. You dive kick and like let go of all directional inputs as you hit the ground. Oh, he gave me the worst pattern, of course. Hippogriff has a few patterns, but like flying around is the worst one. There we go. Got the kill, that's all that matters.
Yeah, we still want to retain all of this mana for something, for actually this next room.
Yeah, there's a room coming up where if I don't have enough mana, I just straight up die, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
But he is going to be using, abusing a little bit of the game's mechanics. He's going to be equipping a usable item here, which actually gives him
I don't have enough.
brief period of invulnerability to get through those spikes.
I didn't have enough mana, so I had to like think on the fly how to get over there without
clutch. That's the thing about glitchless percent is that if things go wrong, you definitely have to think of a backup for it. Definitely think of backup strats. Oop.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to take damage here. That's perfectly fine. I don't really need it.
So instead of skipping Richter through the glitch 20%, we are grabbing the silver and gold rings, and then we are going to make our way back to the clock tower.
Heart management is also kind of important. There's one room in particular you want to have at least 20 hearts for. More hearts, the better in general, because then like sub-weapons are actually useful in this category, where most other categories, they're just kind of like a thing that you ignore most of the time. But the one room in particular, you want to stop all the enemies from messing with you because they're just awful, and they can stun lock you to death. And then other than that, we use the Holy Water near the end to kill bosses really quickly, along with the Shield Rod spell. I need to re-equip the Shield Rod before I forget. There we go. That's the other thing, like the menus are a little bit awkward in this category compared to some others. Here I'm going to be getting the gravity boots. They allow you to do like a upward jump. You could also do it diagonally, and we will see use that soon-ish. Right now, I have to get into the caverns to get the other ring that allow me to... Oh, nice. The gatekeeper. The Ouija table. Please? Okay. In this room, I'm going to be doing intentional damage boosts against that guy. There's some more that I could be doing, but I have extra mana, so I'm just going to ignore them. The real important damage boost is like this next one coming up. Hit that guy, and then just keep going. Yep, you want to make it to right here. So you can see like my mana bar is at the very top there. It's the purple that's slowly filling up. The lower, or the more it goes to the left, the less mana I have. And you're going to see right here, I'm going to have just barely enough to make it all the way through this hallway. And that's where I needed it. Now I don't really need it anymore because I'm about to get a refill. Here I'm getting the Moonstone because it increases your stats in the nighttime. And the game starts at midnight, and nighttime goes all the way until, I think, 7 a.m. in-game time. So I'm obviously going to beat the game in under 7 hours. So I'm going to have those stat bonuses as long as I have that equipped. Here I'm going to try and go for one of those. Nah, she boosted right as the spell went by her. That sucks. Oh well. But it doesn't really matter because I'm about to get a mana refill anyways. It just saves time because the spell animation itself costs some time. Here we're going to be doing the just the all bosses categories movement to get out of this room, which is really fun. It's a mixture of the gravity boots and canceling the momentum and such. It's really fun. Yeah, if you really like movement and like movement-based games, this is the game for you, just by the way.
You can front slide into them DMs.
Ooh, baby. Yes.
I'm interested in this.
Front sliding is awesome. I actually learned about it through Epicly Epic, who is behind me. He's pretty much taught me most of, well, not most of, but a lot of the stuff that I use in my runs. We even have a strat named after him, which hopefully I can pull it off. If you don't pull off the Epicly Epic, your run isn't good.
Yeah,
So
just got to reset.
Here we're going to see all that hard work collecting those 2 rings pay off, the gold and silver rings, because it opens this bottom area in the clock tower, which allows us to get to the holy glasses, which allows us to save Richter, who is being possessed by the Dark Lord Shaft. And yeah. The story of this game isn't too important. I wouldn't worry about it if anybody is. There's nothing really there. The voice acting, though, is amazing. Definitely recommend listening to the cutscenes, not for their content, but for the voice acting. Just need to get in this elevator, sweet. But yeah, until we get to the second castle, there's not that much going on, so if you want to read donations.
I do. Satoryu
Hey.
donates $20 and says, "Sup SGDQ. First donation of several. Looks like your first day has been great as ever. Keep it up. Good luck to Dragon Blitz on the Symphony of the Night run, and try not to activate the MP refill glitch."
Yeah. We should probably talk about that at some point. But you can keep reading, it's going.
All right. Cornchild RC12 donates $150 and says, "Love Castlevania. Good luck with the run." Elk101 donates $150 and says, "Always great to see the show the runners put on. Also, my friend can't get enough of the announcer's voice, so here are a few quality words. Avocado, gazebo, rouge, maudlin."
Such moving words.
Indeed.
This is the epically epic. Hopefully I get it. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
The double front slide.
Into the DMs.
So now we're coming up on the second castle, but before we get there, we have to save Richter, as I said earlier. The way that we do it is pretty interesting. There's like a little orb following Richter around. Once you are wearing the holy glasses, you get to see it. Otherwise, you just fight him normally. I almost did the strat. Would have been cool. But yeah, so there's going to be a little orb in the center of the screen. But we just use 2 spells, and it just dies instantly. So for those of you who haven't played this game, once you get through this castle, you go into this teleporter, and then, surprise, surprise, you end up in the same castle. But wait. Wait for it, wait for it. It's upside down. It's amazing. What a very creative way to save disk space. But now that we're in the second castle, the objective is a little bit different. I have to go to Dracula now and defeat him. But in order to do that, there's 5 bosses that are kind of like his gatekeepers. Once you defeat them and get the relics that they drop, it allows you to open the final door. And this is one of them. Sweet. It's always nice getting the quick kill on him because he can turn this. This fight is really bad. You don't want to see what happens, like the phases that he does.
And also, as a short aside, along with your own spells, you do.
Oh, sweet!
There we go. Man
I did
bad.
the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to show off the whole thing, but that is a glitch that can occur when you acquire a relic and transform into the bat at the same frame. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, this game's just broken. This is the room that you want the stopwatch for because those sword enemies are awful. And you're going to see them kind of swarm me. Maybe? No, they just stood still. Nice. I'm going to be acquiring the Dragon Helm here. It lowers enemies' defense, I believe, in half or something like that. I don't know exactly what it means, but it basically means I'm going to be hitting harder once I equip it. So, and just enough mana to get through that section. There it is. There we go.
Just refilling mana here.
This is one of the worst sections in the game. You can just kind of get stunlocked to death in a lot of ways, and yeah, the way that you move around is very slow looking, but it's actually the fastest way to move around once I transform into the bat up here. Oh, didn't mean to press that button. Yeah, those floating skulls do a lot of damage, so you want to avoid them, and there's a lot in this upcoming area. Let's see if I got the glitch. There's a glitch here where the skeletons will duplicate. Yep, right there. That's normally supposed to be one skeleton, I swear. But, ooh, let's avoid that. So this is how we move around in this section, because there's no real other fast way to do it.
Yeah,
and these skeletons can just kind of snipe you out of the air.
Yeah, again, like you could be doing like wing smashing and all that, but he really needs to conserve that mana for future tricks.
Yeah. And each wing smash takes a considerable amount of damage, or mana, to perform, especially chaining them back to back.
Especially for shield rod spells.
This is creature. He's about to be bye-bye. Yep. So here, I'm going to be refilling my hearts, and there's a chance that while refilling, it didn't happen, that the mana bar will just keep going instead of just like, it ticks up slowly over time. But instead of ticking up slowly over time, it would actually just keep refilling. And that's known as the mana refill glitch. It's frame perfect, but you can't really set up for it on purpose. So it's kind of out of your control whether you get it or not. And that happens anytime the screen pauses. So during the shield rod spells, during a heart refresh, during a level up, while acquiring any sort of relic. So it can just kind of happen. The most mana conservative way of moving around, oh, nice jump, dude, is doing a full back kick, which is doing the dive kick. Oh, no, I'm going to get hit. Okay. There's actually hidden spikes underneath that floor that if I were to touch them, it would hurt really bad. And these Nova Skeletons can one-shot me, so let me just get out of there, and we're good. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, there's like a lot of areas where you can just outright die if you get hit by the right enemy. Sweet, just barely enough mana to make it up here. Oh, no, I missed. There we go. Yeah, we're not really doing that much more for the next couple minutes, so if you want to read some more donations.
Anonymous donates $100 and says, Glitchless Symphony of the Night? How does that even work? Best of luck to Dragon Blitz and congrats on the world record.
Thank you, and it doesn't. Oh no, the hitboxes on these enemies are broken, please. Okay, they're actually nice, okay. You can keep reading, sorry.
Oli donates $150 and says, watched the GDQs since 2014, but first time donating. Smiley face. Donate the full amount to Runner's Choice.
This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be real bad. I don't have enough mana to make it up here, hold on. No. Oh, this is real bad. Okay, I have an idea. Once these guys give me an opening, we're fine. We're gonna reset the room, everything's fine. This guy's gonna leave me alone, right? Okay, that's fine, I'll take that hit. And, okay, we're fine.
Yeah, it just sort of goes to show like how much use of mana like there is in this game, and there's not any easy refilling. So
yeah, if you just run out, sometimes you just have to deal with the hand you're given.
And he actually spawned in a pretty good place. So we can just toss those holy waters again, adding to the DPS of the shield rod spell. Just make quick work of them.
This next room is awful, but hopefully we can get through it. It looks really cool when you do. It looks like this, maybe? Oh, baby, I did it. If you're slow at all, those bats fly into you and you just get stun locked, and it's awful. So it's very frame tight to get through that quickly.
Yeah, that's one of those rooms you want to have the stopwatch for, but
we don't use it in this run because it's faster to have holy water to kill enemies. So it's one of those trade-offs in glitchless. Like you could be using a stopwatch, but you don't get to kill the bosses as quickly. There's a boss we actually exclusively only use holy water on because I think he's weak to it or something, or he's just a bad boss. I don't know. He doesn't really do a good job. Coming up next is Medusa. It's going to be a lot of the same thing, using the shield rod spell and holy water in conjunction with each other. Oh, she avoided the holy water. Got a pro dodge. Oh, I missed it. It's all fine. Here, I'm going out of my way to pick up a mana prism, just because it'll help me out later. Because, again, any way to refill your mana is very good. It helps you in the long run. Like opening the menu and using the mana prism isn't nearly as slow as just running out of mana outright. Which, there it is. Use it, please? Thank you.
Yeah, even though you attempt your best to not kill pretty much like any enemy that you come across, and sometimes you might have to and they might drop an item which might mess up your menuing.
Yeah, especially early on in the run, there's going to be lots of enemies you kill that can drop various things, and that changes the way that the menu looks. This guy is Akmadon.
He just wants a hug.
He literally just wants a hug, and you're not getting
But you just throw holy water at him and he dies. It's actually faster than going through and doing the whole shield rod spell animation and whatnot.
Well then.
Yeah, he takes forever to just like go off screen too. It's so awkward. It takes 2 seconds to kill him and then you're just waiting for his like mummy body to disintegrate. It's awesome. We're coming up near the end of the game here. That was the final gatekeeper boss, if we want to call him that.
The Elite Four kind of works.
Yeah. Oh, I missed the thing. Oops. There's another mana prism in here, which is always nice to get. This next room, I want to make sure I wing smash all the way through it. I didn't get to. I'm just going to use the mana prism. Or actually, I'll just use a high potion. Why not? Picked one up somewhere. I used it for the invincibility, and we'll use my mana prism now. I have to kind of like think of strats on the fly here because I don't normally have this low of mana. And I don't have any more mana refills for the rest of the game, so I have to conserve my mana any way I can. So this movement looks a little clunky, but it's the best I can do. All right. Normally there's a faster way to do this, but I'm going to do it the slow way. Just that way I don't waste any of my mana. Normally I would be using the mana prism after this whole animation, this cutscene of opening the clock door again, but upside down. But since I had to use it early to make sure I didn't die, yeah, we're just going to have to be a little more conservative. Fun fact, you can actually, once you gain control of your character, despawn the ceiling that's blocking you by lowering yourself into this hole. And it's faster than waiting for the whole animation to play out. Because while it's opening, you can't actually go through it, even though there looks like there's an opening. And yeah, this is the final rooms of the game.
I don't think we mentioned this, but during the shield rod spell, you're actually invincible, so that's going to be very important during the Dracula fight.
Oh yeah, because normally he could just like wreck you, but since you're invincible during the spell, you're fine.
Wanted to get that jump in just to kind of line the spell up with Shaft as he kind of moves in a circular motion.
Yeah, and here comes Dracula, guys. Wow, this is really good pace. It's not going to beat the world record that I set in the practice room, but it might beat the previous world record that I held before this run started. So that's cool. That run was at 33:11, just for record, just so you guys know.
Yeah, the cool thing about this final boss of Dracula is just it hovers low enough for these holy water items. So again, you're just laying on the massive DPS while being invincible from the spell, while having all these hearts.
And after this next spell, should be time. Time.
32.
That's a 32. That is recorded world record. Woo! Let's go.
I believe a 32 qualifies as being the win.
Oh man, that was a decent run. Not bad. Oh man. Hold on. Can I end the screen? Oh yes, I can. Hold on. Thank you, Talik Zealot, for everything you have bestowed upon us. All of your wise words. We're just gonna keep it like this for him. This is gonna drive him nuts.
Matthew 16:9, I believe.
Oh, we love you, Talik. Thank you for everything. But yeah, this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The credits take a while to start up, and then you'll hear the greatest song of all time. Look up I Am the Wind, credits of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It'll change your life. And yeah, thanks everyone.